Hello, Rob.
Hi, Ange. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Good. This is like legitimately us saying hello right
Oh,
now.
you know what? I didn't even give you a hug. I was so busy on the phone.
Yeah.
Rob wasn't here last week. I was a lone wolf
Last month. Yeah.
last month. The first time in 3.5 years that I did a market update by myself, which was
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't
We've been
realize,
doing it for 3.5 years together.
Yeah.
So,
Time's blown by.
but real quick, welcome to my channel. I'm Angela O'Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
And I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
And Mr. Rob was doing some fun shenanigans.
Yeah. I was on holiday, as they say, in Thailand.
Nice.
It was awesome. My life has been changed. Like literally, there's been things that have just, wrapping your head around. I've never been overseas.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Never been overseas like that. So I felt like a little baby going and experiencing new things.
The kid in the candy store?
Yeah. I had clients move there.
Oh.
That became very good friends. They became very good friends of mine.
And they invited you?
And they inspired me to check the place out because I'm like, wow, you moved, I just helped you move to Thailand.
That's awesome.
So they did that. And of course that was easy on me because they could show me around.
That's great. Well, I had a lot of happening.
Yeah. Yes. Congratulations.
I got engaged.
Yes.
And then I got a new car, which was my first luxury vehicle.
Yeah.
I got a Beamer X5 with the 40i something or whatever. I don't know all that, but it looks nice. It's a nice car.
Yeah.
But anyway, this market update is going to be a long one.
Okay.
We are not going to be talking about new construction in this market update because one, I wanted to go over December 2023 numbers and also go over year-end numbers. Okay. Because I have graphs for you guys. I have lots of graphs because I really wanted to paint a picture of exactly what happened in the real estate market in Las Vegas for 2023.
Yep.
Okay. Because it's going to lead into what I feel or lead into my market prediction for 2024.
I feel you on that.
Okay.
Yep. We might be aligned in a lot of ways.
Yes. Yes. The basic thing is to summarize, the one thing that was down in the Las Vegas housing market for last year was the sales. We had many months in a row that the sales were down, except for last month we had the sales were increased. But what remained the same relatively, and I'm going to show you graphs, is the median price. And what kept the median price strong was the lack of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now the feds have announced that there possibly could be 3 rate reductions, right?
Throughout the year.
Throughout the year, which they started lowering it. Again, they already started lowering it in December, right?
No,
they haven't lowered it yet.
They have not.
But it was lowered. It was a lot lower. It was below 7%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't the Fed. So it wasn't the Fed that moved it. It was the bond market that moved it. Okay.
So with that said, what that means is with this low inventory, interest rates are going low.
Mm-hmm.
What's that mean, folks? That means that the median price is going to go up.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about it in a minute. We're going to get into the numbers. Right?
Yeah. Let's give them the evidence.
Yeah. We're going to give you the evidence. Everything we are saying is going to go against everything that these doomers are saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, you got a long wrong streak. You got a very long wrong streak.
Right.
So I don't even pay attention to these idiots anymore.
They say there's macroeconomics involved, right? Yes. Last year in 2023, what happened? We were in 2 wars, right? We had the Ukraine war.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the war over in Israel towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we have? We have the most highest interest rates ever.
Yeah.
Right. We had 3 things going last year. But anyway, let's get into the numbers and talk about this. Oh no, this is not the right market update.
Uh-oh. Well, let me fill some space then. We'll get the market update here.
Okay. I have to just let me see. Oh my God.
The wrong one there.
Yep. I'm gonna have
That's all right.
Have them send me The can you?
So I can just fill some space here because and I hope I'm not going to trounce over stuff that we might go over, but
yeah,
I left town in December, early December. I did my final update, and then I came back and I did what would have been the last week of because I also had you have Christmas, so I was putting videos on, but I wasn't putting my updates on, so I wasn't really. I kind of took a little holiday from that too,
right?
But I was astonished to see what happened in December. So that was mind blowing to me. I'll touch on why that happened. That's what you were talking about, the rates. And this is how sensitive it is out there when the rates change. Obviously when they go up, it's dramatic issue with people not being able to afford property or not wanting to get involved at that point. But when they go down, especially an 8-week downward decline, it was 8 weeks in a row. It went down from the 8s all the way down to the low 6s.
Yep.
So what happened was people decided now's the time. And I think a lot of these people are smart buyers. They were thinking of, what, if I can get involved towards the end of the year, this might be my time.
Well, also they say that January is probably the most opportune time to be buying right now before the interest rates go up and before prices go up.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the interest rates will go down, but as they're going down, the prices are going to be going up.
Yep, the opposite of what you said.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So we can still go over the numbers because we have this.
Let's do it.
So
we do have this.
Yeah, we do have this. So last month,
backup.
We have the backup. I just like to have my little notes because it's very important information. But we had 1,518 closings last month, which was actually up 5.8% from the prior month and only down 1% from the prior year, which is for like 3-4 months in a row, the number of closings, the sales, were down,
declining. And inventory was rising. Not
slightly.
Like crazy, but it was going up.
Right.
Well, it's dramatic what happened between beginning of December and end.
Yes.
So
and that has to do because of the interest rate, as you were talking about.
Yeah.
So the median price ended for the year at $449,900, which is, it says 0% decrease. It's only $100 difference from what we were at. Okay. And that is 5.9% year over year increase in median price. So we had almost, it's a 5.9. We had almost a 6% increase in median price in a year.
Yep.
No decrease,
so
folks.
All you people that braved the rapids, decided to get involved in, a lot of you were come from out of state, so you knew what you were getting into as far as whatever happened, you were going to be happy. But boy, you did good. You did good.
Yeah. So I wanted to create a graph of the median price, right? And it's really, as you can see, we started in January of 2023 at 425,000, right? And for a long time, like 4 months in a row, because December of 2022, the median price was 425. So we had 4 or 5 months where we relatively remained flat when it came to any increase or decrease for median price. And then in April of 2023, we rose up to 430,000. And then in May, we went to 442,120. And then in June, we dropped slightly at 449.90. And then in July, we finally hit 450. In August, it slightly dropped to 435. And then September, October, November, and pretty much December, we remain relatively flat at 450,000.
Nice and balanced.
Yes.
Nice and balanced, folks.
So
where we have the springtime bump.
Yeah.
It's easy to see that started.
Right.
Generally speaking, summer is still pretty strong in Vegas. So we continued that. But here's what I've been saying about that and why I think we had some wavering is because the inventory did remain extremely low. It was continuing to be down. And so I think with those low numbers, it's easier to move the number, right? It's easier to move the median price. So we had a little bit of this happen, just a little bit, right? Nothing crazy. Of course, people would key in on that, wanted to see the bad and say, here it comes. But look at what happened unbelievably at the end of the year, when you think traditionally we're going to slow down. Traditionally, we're going to see less people involved, more inventory, which usually means you as a buyer, you have better chances. And you still did. You did have better chances, and you still do, than what I think is coming. But the market really stayed much stronger than I think either of us completely anticipated.
Yeah, it ended up pretty strong. Sorry, I need my laptop because I want to go over the luxury market, and there's very important notes on the luxury market. So no one is listening to me. My son is not listening to me. My fiance is not listening to me. So I'm going to have you do some filler real quick while I get my laptop.
Oh boy.
Talk about your trip.
I'm on the spot. Hey folks. Yeah. What do you want to know? So, Ange has left the building to go grab her laptop, as you know. Let's see. What do I want to tell you about? Let's see. I think you're here, year-end review. All right. I'm put on the spot a little bit. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Mr. T. Mr. T coming through with some muscle. Assuming all things equal, is there a best time of the year to buy in Las Vegas? So absolutely 100% there is a best time to buy in Las Vegas. And typically, traditionally, we're going to say it's the end of the year.
Someone asked you a question.
Yeah, Mr. T came through. The end of the year, November, I would say October, November, December, January. Those are usually our best. In this case, in this year, it really was November was the sweet spot. I think maybe a little bit of October, but no.
Well, you buy in September for October.
Yeah,
I had like the best September or October ever.
But just by the numbers, November was actually, there was more inventory, there was more availability for you. Of course, the rates were what they were. So I guess the rates, putting the rates aside, typically November is going to be a great time. December, January. Now I'm going to say that you need to get on the stick for Las Vegas ASAP, because I really believe this is going to be a strong year. As Ange has said, it's an election year that it has definitely started to show its face. And I believe that we're going to have a big year in Las Vegas. So if you want to get ahead of the rush, and the rush is, I don't want to reveal too much, but I guess I'll just say that I think inventory is going to be tough to come by.
Oh my God.
And so, if you read the writing on the wall, two things. If you're a seller, if you happen to be a seller and you are going to have a great time this year to put your house on the market. And it's just a matter of if you're somebody who wants to trade out on that interest rate, or if rates get low enough for you to do so. But if you're a buyer, you may be up against some stiff competition coming in the springtime. So when's the best time? Right now. Right now. That's not me saying that so I can fill my pocketbook. That's me helping you.
Yeah, and you'll have people coming in, the greedy realtors. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
With the numbers, okay? And all last year, Rob and I have been saying this, and guess what, folks? The market didn't crash. The pricing did not go down. And you're going to have people say, well, there's tons of price decreases on Zillow. And I say this in all our market updates. The only reason you're going to see these price decreases is because the sellers had overpriced them to begin with.
Yep.
I had a prime example last month. I had two prime examples on my last market update where sellers bought it for 1.1 and listed it for 1.4 3 months after they had bought it. So it's greedy sellers. That's why you're seeing all the price decreases, because it wasn't priced accordingly. So I wanted to get into, and I apologize for the delay. I had everything organized, but I had two different kind of market updates I wanted to go over.
Thanks to Mr. T, we were good.
Yeah. So in December of 2022, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the median price was $425,000. In December of 2021, the median price was also $425,000. And in December of 2020, the median price was $345,000, meaning that we are 6% above the last 2 years in median price.
Yep.
Right? We had
Yeah.
6% increase year over year.
Would you have
Year over
called
2
that?
years.
Would any of you out there have called that? Because I got to be honest, I would not have. Not 6%. I would have thought it would remain flat, maybe a slight 1 to 3% drop.
Right. And so as you can see in the chart that how it remained flat, and then what? Spring happened, the
Yep.
traditional spring selling.
Kaboom.
And then after that, it just remained flat. So my prediction is that it's going to keep on going up.
Yeah, this table is set, folks.
Yep.
The table is set. You have not solved the problems for the sellers. The problems are that interest rates are still too high for them to want to go trade out property. That's what a lot of people do. They sell their property, they buy a different property, better property, or whatever. But they're not going to trade out a 3% for
No,
6.
but what's happening is what's going on with the stock market.
Yeah, it's going up quite a bit.
It's gone up quite a bit. I'm getting a lot of past clients wanting to sell and either buy, downsize, upsize, or move out of state, or for personal reasons.
Everybody has a reason to sell. There will be sellers. I'm not saying there won't be any.
But I'm thinking is if you are a seller, let me tell you,
it's home run city time.
You need to. The market is so
it's right
anemic that we need listings.
It's
bad.
right for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So briefly, I'm going to go over the median price for single or for condos and townhomes real quick. So basically last month, the condos went from, they dropped 5,000. They went from 275,000 median price to 270,000, which is a negative 1.8% decrease. Mm-hmm. But they were over year over year, 9.3%.
Yeah. A little surprising there to see that there's a down at all in those, but I think maybe it's reaching a precipice, reaching a little bit of a ceiling. We'll see how long that lasts. People that are buying in those price ranges are squeezed. They are trying to squeeze it in.
Now, just because that Rob and I are saying this, we're just analyzing the numbers of how it is. Doesn't mean that we agree with it. Doesn't mean we're being greedy about it. Now, if the market does do a downturn, obviously we're going to be reporting it and we're going to give you what's really happening. This is what happened.
If I wanted to be greedy, I know exactly what I would do to change things. Okay.
Right.
I would make interest rates low immediately. And all of a sudden, all the business would flow and I would crush it. You would crush it. Every agent in town would crush it. And that's what would happen. Okay. If I wanted to make things, be, for greed.
Right.
But I don't want that. And I'm going to tell you, this is the way I can sort of prove that. I don't want them to lower rates in spring. I want the rates to wait till closer to summer because I think that's responsible. We just went through all this stuff, all these raises, and you don't want to walk that back in any way. You want to make sure that they do that at the right time. So I think they should lower rates only if the bond market raises rates. So in other words, if we go into the springtime and what we had in December reverses and we start to see that we're getting up in the 7s and 8s again, well, then maybe now it's time they can responsibly knock back.
But we've been doing this for a year and a half or more of increasing the interest rates.
Yeah, more.
And has it really put an effect on the inflation?
Yes, it has. Yes,
really?
Yes, it has. What it has done is
food is still expensive, gas is still expensive, electricity is still expensive.
Yeah, I can explain this because I think there's a lot of confusion about what this means.
Okay.
It's about the rate of inflation. Okay. It's not about actually lowering prices. It's not about lowering things just yet. What it is about stopping the rise.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I get it.
So we're peaking out is basically what they're hoping.
So basically prices are the way they are. They're never going to really go down and get used to it.
It's a little bit of that. Yeah. I would say a lot of, there are some things that are flexible, like gas prices could go down. Housing prices could actually go down. I don't think so, but in certain areas of the country, they could.
Right.
things like that. Car prices might go down. I mean, no, they might. I think that's actually that's a probable thing because
it is ridiculous. When we were looking for cars, so my daughter wanted a used car, right? And this is why I got a new car. But used cars for what she wanted, an SUV,
ridiculous.
was like 34, 40,000. I'm like, well, I'll give her my Jeep Grand Cherokee that's 2020, and I'll get me the new car. I'm not
bonus. Yeah.
But used cars, which is good for the people that are buying it, doesn't appreciate as fast as it used to. Remember, you take the car off the lot.
You mean depreciate? Yeah.
I said depreciate.
You said appreciate, but that's okay.
Depreciate.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just what I would say. Inflation is just not, it's the rate. What they're looking at is a target level of, I think, 2% inflation. That means rate of inflation. That means they expect things to still inflate by 2%.
Right.
But we were over like 9% at one point.
Okay.
So you get my drift, right?
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. But anyway, so we're going to get into the luxury market right now.
Boop, boop,
And
boop, boop.
while home sales in Clark County dropped in 2023 to the worst level since 2008, the luxury market was stronger. Sales of multi-million-dollar homes still declined, but not at a degree of the overall residential market. Cash buyers essentially kept the Las Vegas real estate scene from flatlining, and though the lack of listings kept the prices high. And let me tell you what, I am working with a client right now that's over in the luxury side, and there is nothing out there. And those listings are going like hotcakes.
Yep.
1.4, 1.5, 1.6 is like the sweet spot.
Yep.
And those listings, we go see a house, it's already under contract.
Yep. I can tell you that was another part of the numbers that I saw.
Right.
I left town. We were close to 700, 1 million plus listings on the market, luxury listings. Mm-hmm. And I came back and it dropped all the way down to 623, which is the lowest that it's been. And keep in mind, this is what's coming and going. I'm not saying that it's like, there was 700 and it just knocked down to 623. I'm saying whatever came and went, right. And it still ended up being down to 623. And so you look at, then I looked at what's contingent, and there's a bunch more in contingency.
Yeah.
So apparently, and this is why I think some of these buyers have this mindset. They're smart. They know this time of year is the time they want to get in. And many of those, yes, the cash has been king, no doubt about it. They're buying with cash, and they're smart because they don't want to use the interest rate. They don't want to take that interest rate hit.
Right.
So they just buy it with cash, and they're happy with that. But there are those who've been trying to get in, and they saw those rates come down, and I think they got involved because on a jumbo loan, an 8% versus a 6%, big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I did recently just do a video on the top 5 most expensive homes sold in Summerlin, and the Summit Club was 4 out of 5. You had Celine Dion that sold her $30 million house.
2021.
There's she sold it this past year for $30 million.
30 million, and I thought it was 20. They had it wrong in the article I just read.
Yeah, she just sold it this year. And then there was $21.2 million, 15.9, 15.5, and then a land in Summit Club for $12 million. Piece of land.
Yeah.
So with that said, there were 92 homes that sold in December that was over $1 million. And then last month in November, it was 88 homes. So it was just a 4-home increase. And the median price also increased in December to 1.4525. Mm-hmm. And it was at 1.416 and change. So it had like a 36,000 increase in median price.
So what we're going to really see, this is I'll prognosticate a little bit because I think what's going to happen in January is we're going to see a movement on that, an upward movement on that 92 number.
So, when we do the January market update, it's going to be because people are buying now in January. It's not going to really reflect till February.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what
the January market update is not going to be as profound until February.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But the December market update will show up in January when we do our next. And so that's what I'm keying in on. And I already know the numbers.
Well, we're going over December now for January. And then January is going in February.
The closings.
Yes.
So those people got an escrow, and that's what I'm seeing. I already see it. It's like right there.
Right. All right. So now we are going to get into another interesting topic, which was the.
Got a nice question there too.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, Mr. T. We'll get to you. Anybody got questions? Drop them in.
Yep.
You got questions?
But yes, you're right.
We
And
got
I want to
answers.
go over it. That's a super duper great question. Let's go further along and then we'll answer any other questions. Please, please ask them. So, but there was only 1,500 new listings on the market
Yep.
in December, which, you know what? I had people that wanted to list. I said, don't list. Wait till March. I'm telling my people to wait February, March. Okay. 23.8% down from November and down 10.6% from the prior year.
Yep. So I was a little surprised at this, but not necessarily what I was surprised about was the buyer activity, because we knew there would be not as much. This is traditionally not a time that people will put their properties on the market, but it really was quite a bit less.
Because we had some higher sales and not as many listings. What happened was that the amount of inventory dropped to 3,766, which is down 13.5% from November and down 39.4% from the prior year.
That's quite a bit.
So that's where the median price remained relatively the same. And that's why we had such a decrease in the amount of listings. So if you think about it, this is single family homes, 3,700 across the whole entire city. Now, obviously, this may include some new construction, but not all new construction is in the MLS.
Yeah, exactly. So there was an article about not an article, but Invitation Homes just bought 250 homes from another investor. They bought them all. They now have a portfolio of 35. I'm relating this to the numbers.
Yes,
3,500 homes in Invitation's Homes portfolio.
Right.
3,500 homes that they have alone in their portfolio, and there's only 3,766 on the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I wanted to
that tells you something.
Show a chart that I created myself.
Imagine owning almost as many properties that there are on the market.
Yeah, that's crazy. So at the beginning of January, we had 5,400 and I can't even see 50 listings, right? So then we started seeing the dip. Then in May, because the sellers got a little smart, they started listing, right? But look at this. Come June, there was only 3,680 listings. We dropped to our lowest peak in July at 3,524. Okay. Then we slightly went up, and then look where we're at in December.
Just absolutely caved in.
That
was the surprise to me.
Yep. So what that means is for January, we're at 3,766, and we're far worse than we were in 2023.
Yeah.
Does that make
sense? As far as level of inventory.
Level of inventory.
And what was happening in 2020 or 2022, end of 2022,
the interest rates.
The interest rates. And I think also there was FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes.
So sellers were like, let's get it on the market. Let's hurry up and get this done. And so there was more listings that were put on the market. There was a little bit more movement happening there. Plus, there was a little more flexibility.
But we started to see that declining trend in 2022. If I would have created a chart for 2022, when we hit the peak, we were at 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And then every month after that, it was a decline
into the next year.
But
that upward trend was all because of fear, people missing out, and because they knew they were going to get locked into their rate if they didn't sell.
Yep.
And that's exactly what's happened. So
it's the trend is now, if we start in 2024 with lower inventory than we did in 2023, that's not a good sign. That's why sellers,
not for buyers,
sellers, you need to come out and play. Seriously.
If you have it in your mind, if you have to do that.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, there's many reasons why people are looking to do that. You're going to hit some home runs. That's all you got.
Yeah.
That's all you got to know.
Yeah. I will be doing a video very soon on how to get your home show ready to sell, because it's very important in this market. If you're thinking about selling, you're going to be competing, right? So there are some homes that have been staying on the market longer than 30 days. One, because they overpriced it.
Number
And
one
2,
reason.
it wasn't move-in ready. Your house needs to look spick and span, clean.
It's always a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
Professional photographer. Don't have your agent use your cell phone to take pictures. Your home, your listing needs to stand out above all else, right?
Yeah. You gotta go to college. You can't be in kindergarten with this stuff, okay?
All right. So then now we're going to months of supply. So it's kind of interesting because Rob wasn't here last market update. So we have to start a new baseline for our bets.
I'm a little out of whack.
Yep.
And I don't even remember what our last bet was.
I won last one. I had 2 out of the 3. But so last month we were at 3 months of inventory. We dropped to 2.5 months of inventory, which is down 18.2%. And then year over year down 38.7%. So let me see if I'm missing anything from here. So in December of 2022, our months of inventory was at 4 months. December 2023, we're at 2.5 months. So that's huge decrease, right?
Yep.
So then, of course, I created a chart for you guys to see visually exactly where it laid out, right? In the beginning of January, we started at 4.1 months of inventory. And as we were talking about, the May, June, July is where we saw the least amount of inventory because it was our traditional spring selling season. Then we were going up. Rob had predicted more inventory in the market, and I thought he was crazy. Remember?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But the reason we had more is because nothing was selling.
Yeah.
It wasn't that many listings were going on the market. It's just the listings that were on the market.
We had a very consistent amount that were coming on the market.
Right.
Yep.
So then we went from 3.0 to 2.5.
That's just bonkers.
In a month.
That to me right there is just, wow. Way to start the year out, right?
Yeah.
It's the writing is on the wall.
So as you can see, there was no crash in 2023. Now these doomers are
inventory crash.
Right. So now these doomers are saying that there's going to be a crash at the end of 2024.
Okay.
So whenever they say whatever the highest peak of the interest rate was, it's going to take 11 months from that highest peak before you see the crash or the recession.
So let me get this straight.
But they've been saying this for how many months now?
So here's the only way, the ways that the crashes happen. It's got to be something. First of all, you have to have a large amount of sellers. Okay. So what's going to cause a wave of sellers? It would have to be really to happen in that amount of time. It would have to be pretty devastating.
Well, you know what?
I'm not asking for that. I'm knocking on wood. Of course, things can happen in life.
I meditated on this the other day.
Okay, good.
I think we need to look at, people say that there's an abundance of foreclosures and bank-owned property. Nope. So I want to prove to you right now, I've learned how to share the screen.
Oh, good.
How to share the screen and show you exactly that is not the case. So let's see.
I've been doing this in my updates showing short sales and foreclosures on the MLS. It doesn't show, the actual ones that are being sold off at auction. But if you had an influx, they would end up on the MLS. And that's the bottom line.
Okay, folks. Hold on. That's the wrong one. Let me share the right screen. I'm learning all this stuff from StreamYard.
Yeah, I've been doing this with the.
Okay, so I usually just go to. Can you guys see this? Let me know in the comments. Yeah. Okay, good.
You got it.
I usually go to this and then I'll do repo, right?
Yep. It's an REO, so it's a real estate owned.
Right. So then I'm just going to key in, because I don't want Pahrump, but I don't want Laughlin. I'm going to key in Las Vegas. I'm going to key in North Las Vegas, and I'm going to key in Henderson.
I'll do the whole damn state.
Yeah. Well, I just want
it's still only like 3 more than that.
So there's 51 REO bank-owned houses out of what? I mean, that's not a lot, I don't think.
There's over 5,600 properties on the market. So you have 51 of them
as bank-owned or REO. Right.
And yes, foreclosures still happen.
Which we're going to go into next. Let's go to that.
What's that?
Foreclosures.
Oh, these are foreclosures.
Well, these are also short sales. Let's go over the
Okay,
short sales.
short sales, not
Yeah.
foreclosures.
But there's a foreclosure commenced. So short sales 18. So let's do this. 51 plus 18 plus foreclosures commenced 30. So a total of 99 distressed properties.
Yeah, that's traditionally extremely low.
That's not a lot of properties.
It's not. Just look at it, traditional times. It's extremely low.
All right.
Extremely
So how do I
low.
end
There's
this?
always
Okay.
people who go into foreclosure. And
But
they're
99. So if you believe in these doomers saying that there's an abundance, 99 is not an abundance of foreclosures or bank-owned properties.
No, it would have to be an increase to really have a heavy. It would have to be a 5 to 10 if fold increase. I think that's about where it would have to be.
So another one of my clients commented, of course, there's a lot of student loans coming into play. This is going to actually answer Mr. T's question. There's a lot of student loans, a lot of foreclosures, and people that were in the forbearance period in 2020. They're
still catching up on some of that.
Yeah, but they should have been caught up by now.
Well,
because I've had people that did the forbearance and they were on white on rice on that shit.
Yeah.
They weren't wasting time to get their money back, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So my thought is the people that are holding up the market is actually boomers, retirees, our Generation X, people in the the 40s, 50s, early 50s, and then the people that are about to retire are the people that are holding up the market, in my opinion. The younger generation is harder for them. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of that. So the people that have those loans are not going to be in the market. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to,
Which
my
loans?
train of thought.
Like
the student loans, student loans, and stuff like that.
Oh, I see exactly what you're saying.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So the people that are buying are people from Florida, Texas, and California. And the reason I said this in my last market update is because of homeowners insurance, the high premiums, or also because sometimes some carriers aren't even going in the States anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people back east, back west, you see so many articles in the RJ about people from California still moving here, right?
Oh, yeah.
And those people are heavy hitters.
Real.
And they're cash buyers. And but to me, the bulk of my buyers are the boomers, and they're ready to retire. They're ready to cash out on their 401ks because, man, they've gone up tremendously in this last 6 months, right?
Yeah. Speaking of the market, that's where you were going earlier, right?
Yeah, that's where I was going at. So I was kind of trying to answer the buyer demographics from Mr. T.
Yes. Good question, Mr. T.
Yep. All right, we're almost done. And then we're going to do some predictions. Okay. So then that brings us to the number of days on the market. 57.6% of the homes was on the market 30 days or less.
Yeah.
Last month it was 65.5, but last year it was at 40.8. So traditionally December homes stay on the market longer because of seasonality and also the higher interest rates.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a clearinghouse last month.
Yeah. Let me see if I discussed everything. Yep. So those are the numbers. We're not going to go over builder incentives, but I just thought it was very interesting to show you guys the graphs between those three, the median price, the number of listings on the market, and the months of supply, how pretty much stable in a way,
Yeah, absolutely. It's what we want to see. Sturdiness.
If we have the same thing happen this year where we're only at 3788 or 3766 inventory, if the sellers don't come out and play, the number of inventory is going to go down. The interest rates are going down. So what does that mean? The prices are going to be going up.
Yep. Demand.
And unfortunately, those that have been waiting on the sidelines thinking and listening to these doomers, it's not going to crash. In my opinion, I don't feel that it's going to crash.
Yeah. And I just have to say that I think anybody that's really paying attention to a channel like yours, the channel like mine, they're not listening to the doomers. Not often.
Right.
They are not keying in on tell me what I want to hear because I'm going to listen to you and then go out and make my move. No, these people are going by real data and they're seeing what makes sense to them and how it can work out for them. And speaking of the boomers, they're at a point in their life where they want to make these changes for a number of reasons, whether they're uncomfortable, whether it's taxes, cost, politics. I mean, all kinds of reasons, and they have the means. So they're not going to screw around. And they're not going to screw around with like, they've lived long enough to see cycles. They understand cycles to whatever varying degree. And I just don't think that they're living on that fear island. They've insulated themselves their whole damn life.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, they were smart. The boomer generation right now, I mean, they were smart with investing, 401ks, savings, right now. Plus, if they sell their house wherever they're at,
bing, bing, bing.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice to not have a mortgage and not have to worry
or
about
a very low mortgage, even if it is at a higher rate, because you're going, you know what, I can work this out later.
Yeah. Or, a lot of them will put a good chunk down and then finance just a portion like 200,000.
Yep.
And I understand, folks. I know it's crazy to buy a $400,000 house and have your mortgage payment $3,000. It's just freaking crazy. That's more than my mortgage in that.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're not selling our houses. Yeah. We understand.
Yeah. I mean, my house, if I were to sell it today, is probably $900,000, and I live in Desert Shores area, but I bought it for $415,000. I'm not selling that thing.
Yeah, and you're right. You're not going to trade that rate,
right?
Not unless you have a real.
I have a 2.99% interest rate.
Unless you have a real reason to do that, which some people do. I mean, when you get down and nuts and bolts, and if it's like it's time you have to have a one story. You're at whatever age. I mean, you're going to make that happen. You take that equity and say, you know what, I've been blessed. I will make this happen.
And then another thing, we'll always see an increase in boomers during this time of year, especially springtime too, because where they're located, especially people that are back east, they're like, this is the last winter I want to have. And, they don't want to deal with the snow anymore. And I don't blame them. They want to have our temperatures are wonderful, except for, hot during the summer, no state income tax, lower property taxes. The state is, to me, a purple state more so than a left or right state. We're not like, a very strict state with all these stupid telling people what to do and all these law. You know what I mean?
A lot of what
we don't have a lot of politics. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think Vegas will be strong. And we say this every time. Not only that, we have all those professional teams.
There's so many projects. The
monorail they planned for 2027.
If the monorail happens, oh my effing God.
That's why now, and people get mad at me promoting, you're a bad agent promoting, now is the time to buy. But now, and we've been saying now, because the proof is in the pudding. We've showed you for the last 3.5 years that we've been doing this market update. Yeah.
And all my career, I've been very sensitive to being conservative about what I'm going to tell somebody, like what's going to happen in the market. Am I going to have $100,000 in equity in a year? No, I'm not going to tell you those. That's ridiculous. But I have to say, after nearly 15 years in this business, and every year getting better over on top of each other, and then now seeing quite a bit of the evidence that Vegas is going to be a landing spot for more and more people coming here, and that now we have even more inventory shortages, potential interest rates on the drop. Look, 2024 is going to be a strong year for Las Vegas.
You remember last year you were commenting on that guy that came to Vegas and was dishing. I saw his video again. He did another one this year.
What?
He did another one this year.
Oh my
saying,
God.
Look how much inventory there is. All right. I will say one thing about builders real quick. So, and I said this in my last market update. The builders like Richmond American, Century Communities, who else? They weren't really doing a lot of standing inventory or Woodside Homes, but everyone else was like Lennar, Taylor Morrison and Toll Brothers. So they got in the game. One, it helps speed up the process, especially if you have to get permits, and all that stuff, and do your structural options. But they got in the game not because they needed to sell, but because of you saw the lack of inventory we had. So they wanted to stay in competition with the other builders and also
the resales.
Yep. Right? So what a lot of these builders now are they're going back to, a lot of them are going back to the traditional way. I had a Christmas dinner with Woodside Homes, and they're not going to be doing as much standing inventory or quick move-ins as they were. Builders are going back to the traditional way of doing things where you're building from ground up.
Okay.
And to me, that's more money from when you're building from ground up. It costs more.
Yeah.
As a buyer, you're having all these deposits and everything. So it's going to be interesting when we go over what's going to be happening with new construction incentives, and to see where the builders are going to land. Pulte at Ascension and Toll Brothers at Ascension, those prices are redonkulous, and they are selling, folks.
Yep.
They sold 6 of the single-story homes, which is Incline at Ascension, and they sold 3 or 4 at the Cap Rock, which is the 2-story homes by Pulte, instantly. And they're selling in these $1 million houses that are crammed together.
Basically, yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I've been doing these videos of the model homes and everything, and sometimes I get these comments like, "Oh, like this one guy, oh, you can't BS me. I know what's happening up here. I can go find one of these. They got these homes standing waiting for people to buy them," and I'm like, "No, you are dead wrong. All these places, excuse me, they're closing out. They don't have any more left." So if you're looking for a brand new single story, 4+ bedroom, 3+ bedroom in certain,
in Summerlin, there's nothing except for the Pulte, which is over $1 million.
The Pulte at Ascension, right? So, and the Peaks. So so we have watched, and we have sold, her and I have sold these properties. They are gone. They are like, if you're looking for that single story, especially a really nice one.
Yeah, because
you're gonna have to wait.
Well, if you want Summerlin now, obviously, if you want somewhere else, then we can help you there too. But Summerlin, Falcon Crest is on its final phases. Next door, Crested Canyon, final phases. What Summerlin's doing, and I'm going to be posting a video tomorrow, is 3-story homes, especially near the urban core, all the villages or the districts that are there. But there's no real normal houses like the Red Point Village, except for in the Peaks Village, which is Ascension, and those are starting in the mid
1.5, 1.6, right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking to buy a home under $400,000, new construction, very few, and if there are, they're on the east side.
On the east side
and north side.
Yep, north and east.
Yep. And there's very few homes under 400,000. I mean, there's a few, but it's hard to find.
It is hard to find, for sure.
Yep.
It's a tough price range to be looking in, and then you want to look in the resale market, and now you're like, oh, this is what I got to look at.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Well, listen, I guess we're just telling you what we're seeing here, folks.
Yeah. So my prediction is that the median price will continue to rise, especially since we're hitting the spring selling season. I don't think inventory may go up, but just as it goes up, the sales will eat it up. So the inventory will still remain low.
Yeah.
I'm just predicting for the next 6 months. I'm not predicting from July on. I'm just predicting in the next near future, right? I think that's it. And the median price will go up.
So I pretty much am in line with that. I would just add some sprinkles on top, which is so I think that we will see our usual springtime sellers coming out. There are going to be some sellers that want to sell at springtime.
Right.
Will it increase inventory by much? No, because there's going to be a lot of buyers that are going to be scooping that stuff up. So virtually what you said, I'm just saying it in a different way.
Right.
And there's a couple of caveats to be had here. What could alter things? if they change rates earlier in the year, forget about it, folks. It's going to be bananas. I really think that's going to be like
bidding wars again, multiple offers.
If they change rates too early, I think that's going to. So what I'm actually going to predict is that they don't change rates. Maybe this is coming from my heart more than my head, because in my heart, I really believe they should wait. The Fed should wait till closer to the summer, if not in midsummer.
Or do it strategically and not do it all at once.
Well, they won't do it all at once.
Right.
It won't. Whatever the increase. See, here's the thing, though. As soon as you start bringing that positive juice into the market, the rates are lowering. That's it. Just signals to everybody.
But what did I say last year? What had I been saying all last year? Election year.
Yes. Well, especially
I
towards
called
the end,
it. Yeah. I said,
and I was skeptical.
Yes.
Because of the way things looked. Right. You know.
I said rates are going to go down next year, which is this year now.
And some of the things that maybe we couldn't have predicted would be that the bond market would do so much damage to the rate. But you are right. It's going to be a good year, I think, overall economically, unless something is on the horizon that we just can't see.
Another war.
I mean, it's all devastating things that could happen. This is where. Okay, if you're clairvoyant enough to see that stuff and you want to predict that and you get it right, well, more power to you. I guess we should have listened to the crazy guy talking about that right now, because they weren't so crazy.
Well, they'll be right sometime, maybe in 5 years.
But other than something pretty massive,
right?
I don't see anything but a very positive year for Las Vegas, Nevada. In particular, Las Vegas, Nevada. I am not talking about the entirety of the country, because personally, I think we're back to, remember I would say this, like, we're going to get to the point where it was the same blanketed in 2021, 2020. It was happening everywhere throughout the country.
Yes.
Right? It was all the same.
Right.
We are now going to have more individualized markets. We already have started having that.
Right.
And I think there will be areas that suffer. There will be areas that gain.
Well, I honestly think the areas that will suffer is going to be Florida.
That's a surprising one on my list. I'm friends with some agents out there, and they're doing very well.
Oh, really?
Now. Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of, I guess, because I work for with the boomers.
Yeah. But I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think you're raising a proper red flag there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know if that'll change the dynamic enough, because it has been so popular there. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, but you got the people that are back east, the New Yorkers and New Jerseys, they like to go to Florida.
Exactly.
And then the people that are in Florida are
they're bailing out.
Yeah, they're bailing out.
So okay. So they might be on, maybe it ends up even.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But I hear what you're saying. I do not disagree that insurance thing is a big problem.
Yeah. No comments. All right. So let's make our bet wages.
Okay. Boy.
So we don't have anything to go off of for medium price, because I'm going to go first on this one.
Okay.
That I'll lead the way on that. Where is my market update? Where's that little piece of paper that I had? Downloads. All right. So, what are we talking about? Medium sales price. All right. I think, okay. So because we are going over actually January and the sales happened in December was super slow for January. I think we're going to remain flat. I don't think there's going to be an increase or decrease in medium price.
Okay. So you're going
to say
with,
zero.
You're just going with zero, flat. I'm gonna prices right you and say $1 above zero. Because I actually do think it's going to go up. I think there was a strong enough December that will pop up when we see into January, the closings and everything. They're happening in January, right? They're happening as we speak,
right?
So I think they're gonna show up, and I think it will be, because of those rates. I do think it'll be a little bit higher.
Okay. All right. Good call. So now,
I mean, that's my logic, at least. Let's see.
So then without offers, we are at 3766. Where do you think that's going to stand? What do you think the inventory is going to stand at?
Ooh, I want to really put it close to that 3766. I'll go with 3700.
All right. So if my theory is right, Well, shouldn't yours go up if you're increasing the median price?
No, because that's about closings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm saying that we're remaining flat for the median price. So that means that the number of listings are going to remain flat as well. So you took my 3,700. You said 37?
I'm virtually, yeah.
So I'm going to.
You're going to do 3701?
Yep.
All right.
So you said 3,700. I said 31.
All right. Fair enough. I think we're very aligned. This is maybe the most aligned that we've ever been.
All right. So months of supplies at 2.5. I'm going to say 2.4.
All right. Well, I think I'll go to 2.45. 2.5, I should say. 2.5.
Okay. I just 2.5.
I'm gonna. Yeah. I mean, this is a tough one.
Well, because if you think that there was more sales, because you're saying that you have a feeling the sales are going to go up.
Yeah, but this is about inventory coming on, and
but if there's not enough inventory
mm-hmm.
and you have more sales, that means it's going to lower the months of supply.
Yeah, but so what I'm seeing though for the start of January, so this isn't where we have to wait on a closing. So
right.
I got a little cheat sheet because I've already been doing
right.
my
You've
numbers.
been doing it every month.
I did notice that the beginning of the year, which would be true
right now,
people are starting to list, not like crazy, but there was definitely a number that was going up. So I think that there will be some, not enough to like really go crazy,
right.
but I think it'll keep it pretty even. So that's why I'm going to go with that number.
Okay. Yeah, I think it will stay at 2.5. I think it's going to be a very flat month for January, in my opinion.
Right.
Where you're going to see the increase will be starting in February.
As we go.
Right now, because like I said, I was out showing houses in Summerlin South today and yesterday, and they're in the mid millions and they are going fast. So I think, of course it's median price. I don't know if anyone knows what median price is, but I'm talking to be talking. Anyway, let's make it under an hour, right?
We did good.
Yes. Did you see the thumbnail I created for this?
No, I didn't.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyone else want to make a comment? We've been going for an hour almost, and we've said a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we might sound a little bit like a broken record because we're just really high on what we see, but the numbers speak for themselves, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, and not that we condone it.
No,
we're just reporting it because we would like it for everyone to be able to afford to buy a house, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're realtors. We want to sell to everybody. And with these prices becoming unaffordable, it's hard for any American to afford. I mean, like I said, a $400,000 house at those interest rates, $3,000 monthly mortgage payment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. But at the same time, rent is still pretty high as well. Right?
Yeah, rent's putting pressure, although it's not going up like crazy.
Right.
They're just holding very strong, and so that's always a pressure.
Yeah.
But it has created, especially in certain price ranges for certain people.
It's not a lot of luxury rentals.
Yeah, there would be. I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
There's just not enough inventory.
Yeah, there's not. Anyway, folks, we really, really, really appreciate you watching us today. Let us know in the comments, obviously, by the time you watch this, what you think of our market update, the good, the bad, the ugly. Our proof is in the numbers, and we just report the facts. Again, if there is a crash, we'll report that too. But right now, that's not what we feel is going on based off of what we analyzed.
Yeah, it's just not even in my frontal lobe at all right now. So unless something tragic happens, which nobody can predict that, and if they do, again, they're clairvoyant. Folks, I am happy to be on your channel again. Thank you for having a month off was kind of weird, and I feel a little displaced. But thanks for bringing me back in as always.
Yep,
I really appreciate it. And I would just say, if you are found this live on here, make sure to follow Ange, because then you'll see me again.
Yep. And I've posted a link down in the description below to the full Las Vegas Realtors report, along with my blog post, along with my information, and of course, Rob's information if you want to contact him.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ange.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully. And we'll see you on the next one.
We got that right.
Yes.
The timing's still good there.
Yes.